One of the most critical things in immigration people have been waiting for to hear from the new administration of Biden and Kamala Harris is about the status of the public charge. We all know that when the public charge was introduced under the leadership of Trump administration, it received a lot of backlash. But most importantly, there are so many cases in the court of law, and the Trump administration won to proceed with the public charge. One of the things people expected was, after the new administration, what will be the new cause of public charge? So yesterday, President Biden has signed executive order. But in this executive order, it has so many points. Some of those points are going to address or to talk a little bit about the issue of public charge. Welcome everyone, this is Ernest Boniface Makulilo, and today I'm welcoming you to my YouTube channel. If it is the first time to come across to my YouTube channel, I would like for you to go and subscribe, put the comment and click the subscribe, the like button, so that you can be in a good position to get more views and more recommendation through the YouTube algorithm to other people. Yes, let me go straight to this particular topic of the public charge. One of the items we have been talking over and over is when you are applying to come to America, especially under the immigrant visa type, one of the new things is to prove that you are not going to depend on the public benefits like healthcare, food stamp, cash aid, and all other items from the government. The logic behind of that is you are not a taxpayer yet. So why are you coming here to be a burden to the government to support you? So you have to prove to the government or to the consular officer, to the government, that I'm going to America, but I'm not going to be a burden. I'm not going to depend on the U.S. government resources. So in one way or another, when it comes to the green card lottery winners, for instance, a lot of them will be in a very tough situation to prove that. Because not all who are winning are financially stable. They are maybe professionals or good business people. Some, they're just a student. Maybe you just finish a bachelor degree, finish your master's degree, or you're just starting your job. How are you going to prove that you are going to be publicly reliable on your own? That is tough, whether you like it or not. To say you are going to be stable in America, even Americans themselves, most of them, they are not stable. How can you come with your high school or your 2 years work experience with a job of $300 or $500 per month to prove to the US government that I'm going to be stable and I'm going to depend on my own? That is a very tough promise. So it hasn't been seen for many people about the impact of the public charge per se, because there was, when the public charge was introduced and everything, then the COVID started. So with the COVID to start, it was beginning of 2020. When it started, most of the visas were suspended. So we haven't seen how practical it is when you show up at the U.S. Embassy. How many people will get the visa and how many people will be denied the visa for the immigrant visa type. For the non-immigrant visa, that is common. If you are coming as a student, you have to prove you are going to be able to pay for your school fees, cost of living. If you come as a tourist, you have to show bank statement and all other kind of things. But that was not there for the most of the immigrant visas, and especially the green card lottery winners. So for this type, we haven't seen in operation because the V2020 was in a big mess, and many people haven't been able to be interviewed up to this moment. So if that's the case, let's assume for the new administration and new practical way, let's say if you go now to the US Embassy, are you going to be given the visa? That we do not know. So that's why there is this new executive order. But it has a big challenge, because in this new executive order, Biden hasn't clearly stated that is going to repeal, is going to resign, is going to eradicate or to remove the public charge. So the executive order is called the Executive Order on Restoring Faith on Our Legal Immigration Systems and Strengthening Integration and Inclusion Efforts for New Americans. So I'm going to put this one from the White House briefing room. I'm going to put the link in the description below so that you can be able to read it. But I'll go to highlight some of these areas of the public charge. So it started by the authority vested in me as a president, by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered as follows. So there is Section 1 about the policy of the foreign-born individuals and all other kind of things. But I'm going to focus more about the public charge, which, if you go to read this one, it is on the Section 4 of this new executive order. So in this executive order, it says as follows on Section 4. Immediate review of agents' actions on the public charge in admissibility, whatever. That usually, I have difficulty on that, usually that word. Admissible, not be admissible. So that is, they are going to make a review. So this one, it says, immediate review of that one on the public charge and whether you will be admissible to America. And it goes as follows. The Secretary of State, the Attorney General, the Secretary of Homeland Security, and the heads of other relevant agencies, as appropriate, shall review all agents' actions related to the implementation of the public charge ground of inadmissibility in Section 212, subsection A, subsection 4 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. And it goes as follows. The ground is saying that they shall, in considering the effects of the implication of the public charge policies, consult with the heads of relevant agencies, including the Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Health and Human Services, and the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. Therefore, this review should, 1, consider and evaluate the current effects of these agents' actions and implications of their continued implementation in the light of the policy set forth in Section A of this order. But another part is, and to identify the appropriate agents' actions, if any, to address the concern about the current public charge policies' effect on the integrity of the nation's immigration system and public health. And another part, to recommend the steps and the relevant agencies should take to clearly communicate current public charge policies and the proposed changes, if any, to reduce fear and confusion among impacted communities. How long have they been given the task to be able to review? So within the next 60 days of this date of the order, so it's from February and March. So 60 days, it will be in April, beginning of April. So within 60 days of the date of this order, the Secretary of State, Attorney General, the Secretary of Homeland Security shall each submit a report to the President describing the agent's actions identified to the subsection A, subsection 2 of this section and blah, 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 blah. So, in a nutshell, these are the following. Number 1, public charge hasn't been removed, if you want to know the status. So if you are going to the interview for the DV lottery, or you are going for the immigrant visa at the U.S. Embassy, up to April 1st, you'll be able to prove the public charge. This executive order hasn't removed the public charge. The agencies are going to review. Why are they going to review? Because when this public charge was introduced under Trump administration, there are steps which were followed. That's why that's why even if they went to the Supreme Court, they lost people who were against it. Because you can say this is discriminatory, but let's say you are a citizen of Tanzania, citizen of Uganda, citizen of Ghana, citizen of Liberia, citizen of South Africa, citizen of whatever country you are. Do you want someone to come to your country to say that I want to be a permanent resident, but I want your country to give me everything for free? That was the logic behind it. So that's why President Biden, in order this one to be able to review, he asked Attorney General, Secretary of State, Health and Human Services, Department of Agriculture, House and Urban Development. All these departments are related to one another because there are some people coming here, they need support. When it comes to the healthy, some on the agriculture, some on the housing, low-income housing. We know all those kind of areas. So for that particular case, you cannot just jump and say, I'm going to remove with executive order. Because in the end, if you remove, they take it to the court. What are you going to say? Why are you removing this public charge? It will be difficult because you need to show. That's why each department must come, department in the agency must come with the report on how can they address the concern about the public charge policies. That if there is something you can modify or there is something you can remove, we can remove. So in my opinion, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a president, I'm not working for the government. But in my opinion, the public charge will not be removed. But there are certain things will be able to be added into the public charge so that it can reduce the stress, it can reduce someone under certain circumstances. I can give a few examples. Let me give one example. Let's say you are applying for the DV lottery visa at the embassy. You are at the U.S. embassy. So sometimes, if you, let's say you don't have a certain income, but you have master's degree, so we can project like this person, if come to the public charge, this person can be public charge on the temporal basis, maybe for the 6 months as he transitioning. So they can be able to do that, or they can be able to do in something like that. Okay, if you come as a public charge and maybe let's say you are pregnant or you are elderly, you will not be you will be allowed to be getting those benefits. You will be able to receive those benefits because it will be risky on that situation. So, for instance, the Department of Health and the Department of Health and Human Services, in their report, they might say, on this situation, especially during the COVID situation, many immigrants, they might have COVID, they might have this kind of situation because they don't have insurance or because they don't have this one. They fear to go to the hospital or to go to meet a doctor, all those kind of things, because they don't qualify to get the benefits. So for this case, we are going to create more threat to the community to risk also other Americans. So for that case, for the health perspective, they might come with the regulations that if maybe you are here and you have these kind of conditions, you'll be able to be given treatment, you'll be able to get these benefits on the temporary situation so that you cannot be a risk to all Americans or the community where you live. So that might be another area. But the process of not going ahead, just assume if the president, Biden as a president, has put executive order to stop the building of the wall, which is billions and billions of dollars. If went ahead and put executive order to stop the continuation of the pipeline, those are major, reducing the over 11 million jobs and all other things on the matter of the environment. Why didn't the president or the administration go ahead and just stop this one? Because this one for me is yes, but it is different from the impact of saying the discussion, which is a bigger about the wall, big about the pipeline, the oil pipeline. So those are the bigger issues than this one. So I don't know. For me, I see going ahead with the review, yes, it is just one side is oh, I'm not going to remove this one per se, but I'm going to modify, I'm going to put it easier. So I can go to put it categories like if you have pre-existing conditions, you'll be able to get to this one. If you have this category, you'll be able to go to this one. Or maybe if you have this kind of education, by default, you'll be able to qualify to come here to get on the temporary public charge public benefits for this time. Just like how it is for unemployment benefits. If you are unemployed, you don't get unemployment benefits for 10 years, you don't have a job. It is a limited, maybe it is a 1 year, or how much you have. Mostly is 1 year maximum, or 18 months, whatever it is, depending on the state. So because of that, it will be same or similar thing like that. So they're not going to remove per se, but they might put like, if you come here in America, obviously we know for sure you cannot be able to survive without getting this kind of support. So as Americans, as people, we want to support you so that you can give you a little nudge, a little help, so that you can start your own life. It will be like, if you come here, you'll be only allowed to get the public support for the first maybe 4 years, just once, maybe maximum 6 months or maximum 1 year to start your life. After that, until you accumulate how much you have paid in tax, maybe it will be 3 years or maybe 4 years, then they can be able to allow you to access the public benefits like any other green card holders or any other American. So these are just my take on this particular area. But I'm going to post this executive order. And with this executive order, I want you to go to section 4 of this one, and on the description, I'm going to paste some of this one so that you can be able to see what does that mean exactly, that the public charge is still there and will not go anywhere at the moment. After 60 days, we'll make another video to see if this one there'll be any type of change on the public charge.